It's a city near the end of the earth, rich in maritime history. In the main square in Punta Arenas, Ferdinand Magellan looks out towards Tierra del Fuego, across the strait that bears his name. From Scott to Shackleton, this is where famous Antarctic expeditions came and sometimes returned. And today, it's home to the Chilean Antarctic Institute, a signatory to a very important treaty. Preserving the integrity of the Antarctic continent works as a kind of international cooperative. And as you walk into the Chilean Antarctic Institute, you're presented with a map of the continent, incredibly rich in resources from copper to oil to gold, and a lot of nations would like to get their hands on that, but they can't because of the Antarctic Treaty, which was signed back in 1959 to ensure, in the interest of all mankind, that Antarctica shall continue forever to be used exclusively for peaceful purposes and shall not become the scene or object of international discord. And so far, that has worked.
The principal spirit is the cooperation. In Antarctica, really, if you don't cooperate, maybe you can be or can do anything, because this is an extreme land with extreme conditions.
From Punta Arenas to King George Island on the fringes of Antarctica, it's well below zero, and the tourists off the cruise ships are on their way home. So here we are, King George Island, Antarctica. We made it. It's so desolate. It's like we've landed on the moon. This is where the world's geography is turned upside down, where Russia neighbours Chile alongside a dozen other nations' research stations. It is the Antarctic Treaty in action. Survival suits are on for the trip from shore to ship. So this is our ride out to the Arctic sunrise, who's parked up in the mist out there somewhere. On board, we're quickly on our way, southbound for the site of the proposed ocean sanctuary, an isolated wilderness of sea and ice, home to an astonishing array of life.
Our campaign is for the Weddell Sea Marine Protected Area. It's a proposal by the German government and backed by the EU, and that starts at about 64 degrees. It's described by everyone who goes there as pretty inhospitable. So I think that's the feeling we're going to have as we round this corner.
The Greenpeace expedition is taking in scientific studies of the ocean floor, as well as an exploration of this remote outpost. How far we get will depend on weather, ice conditions, and a good deal of luck. Nick Clark, Al Jazeera, Antarctica.